This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for their continued support, and he hopes
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. We are 3 weeks into the Masters of the Draft 87's edition. Tonight, the fourth and final leg in the 1987 cars from the Talladega Superspeedway, virtually on iRacing. We get ready to go for 250 miles of racing in what is going to be a pretty wild one as we get ready to crown another champion here in this series of 4 races before we move on to 2025 and the Xfinity cars. And that's not after a big update today on iRacing as we get ready to go here from this massive racetrack that sits just to the east of Birmingham, about 100 miles west of Atlanta. It is the Talladega Superspeedway here. We welcome you into the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing and the Masters of the Draft, presented by Bet the Track. And the Captain, we welcome you in on this Tuesday evening, getting ready to go as we take a look at the schedule here. Again, tonight, Talladega, and then we have an all-star race coming up next week in the super late model car. And then after that, we will move to Daytona January the 7th and start the Xfinity races, 4 of those, and then, of course, 4 of the Gen 4s, and then 4 of the Gen 6 races. So we will be halfway after tonight's all over with as we crown the Master of the Draft here in 2024 and going into 2025. So that is where we look right now. And as I've compared this all season long, it's like Mario Kart with the different seasons that you do, basically 4 races apiece in a different car. And that's where we go tonight, of course, is to Talladega in the 87 cars. As these cars are going to be wild, as, of course, there's no restrictor plate or anything holding them back. Speeds of over 220 miles an hour in the draft down the straightaways. And as you know, when these cars get all types of sideways, they will get airborne and they will fly. And, well, not to mention with some of the updates tonight, we're going to have some dirt now getting on the track and grass and grooves moving around and a whole bunch of different elements here that I'm going to be learning along with you here when it is all said and done. Right now, it is time for qualifying, which, of course, is presented by Vivid EV. Big shout out to those guys for sponsoring, as always, the Masters of the Draft series. Of course, Vivid EV, all about electric vehicles, including golf carts and so on and so forth. As you see, Joe Wells crossing the start-finish line is Drift going to be the first one to complete a qualifying lap, and his lap right now is sitting at Oh, sorry, he did not complete a lap. He's actually started his first lap. So everybody is going right now for their first lap. As you see down there in the bottom, when they're in the green, that means they're fast. When they're in the yellow, That means they're running either the same or slower speeds, and if they're in the purple, they are on a pole lap. At the moment, AJ Condon right now in the purple in that 5 car as he looks to complete his lap here in just a second. Through the tri-oval he goes. In this number 5 as he shoots across the line with those glowing green wheels. 46.80, the first lap complete. Joe Wells second as Drift crosses the line right now. P3. Shiflet crossing the line second. You see everybody pretty much completing that first lap right now. Speeds of about close to 200 miles an hour right now. Al Likens working to get himself to the pole. Is looking pretty fast. Darrell Johnson, 46.74. There goes Likens, a 74 also. Matching all the way down to the 10 thousandths. Both of them 46.74 too. As everybody completes lap 1 again, rules here in the series states that all drivers must run a qualifying lap. So we're going to watch more times get put up here and posted as Drift crosses the line. 46.80. Right now, Sam Taylor just jumped up there, 46.73 with a 4. Still got 6 cars to complete their first lap. As here comes the 39 of Shane Ward. He crosses the start-finish line, and Shane jumps up to the 5th position. There's Jason Branch, the winner last week at the 08 Daytona edition. Andrew Moore, and he's looking pretty good right now for a pole run. He is in the purple as he works his way off of turn 4, the Weiss Supermarkets number 77. Through the tri-oval and across the start-finish line. Can he get the pole once again here? Bam, 46.67. A good lap for him. Travis Gilbert on track right now. James Hudson, Jason Branch is mentioned. Here's Stephen Melnick, the Darkwing Duck car. As he will cross the line, and Melnick goes to 23rd. As he just completed his first lap, I believe. Travis Gilbert up to 5th. Scott Wise up to the 11th position right now. As Josh McKinney there to 24 car. There's the 11 of Dusty White. He's trying to get a lap completed. He might have the Captain Esports jinx going for him. He has it on his car, and now all of a sudden he's having issues. As Melnick bringing the 1 car to the start-finish line. He's faster on the second lap, but I don't know if it's going to be pole quality here. As 14th fastest for the Georgia driver, 46.83. So 1 car left, and he's going to run out of time, unfortunately, for Dusty White. So he will not get a qualifying effort in, and Andrew Moore will win the pole here, presented by Vivid EV. So congratulations to Andy on the pole award, being the fastest here tonight by himself. Can he be the fastest in the draft? We will find out here in about 10 minutes time or so, as the warm-up is officially underway. Let's take a look at the point standings as we enter tonight's race. It is a pretty good battle right now. Stage Point's going to play a pretty big role in tonight's race as Travis Gilbert leads by 35 over Joe Wells. Shane Ward is 3rd. Quentin Clark and Greg Thompson, your top 5. There's the Daytona 08 winner, Jason Branch, there in 6th. Andrew Moore, Eddie Rowaldi, Dylan Picklesimmer, and Drift, there your top 10 in the 87 edition points standings. The overall standings, it's been pretty much a 2-man show, but noticed a couple of drivers starting to kind of get some momentum here. But Joe Wells leading by 14 over Travis Gilbert. You know, to Shane Ward there, keeping it under 300 points as he's working his way a little bit closer. Quentin Clark, Andrew Moore. But it's been pretty much a 2-car show throughout the season. But as you know, anything can happen on any night. And should happen tonight. We'll have to see. Talladega could be a wild one. We could see like the original Daytona race about 4 weeks ago, where we only had the 2 cautions. We could see something like the 08 race last week that had a few cautions. But it is a long 250-mile race tonight, so anything can happen, and obviously will happen potentially this evening. Team standings wise, G Lightning Motorsports and G Lightning Motors, the top two right now. G Lightning Motors pulling away right now with 6 wins in the 10 races so far. High Spirits with a win, Torqued Wrench with a win, and then TW Motorsports with 2 wins down there in the 7th position. As of right now, is Dylan checking in, of course, from Michigan. Hello, Dylan. Appreciate you checking in on chat. Also, Super Shafty watching, Melnick, of course, checking in. So, appreciate all you guys hanging out here this evening. Make sure you do share the stream out to your friends and family. And anybody that might be interested in sim racing and stuff, you can give them the link and let them come over and enjoy a fun night of racing coming up here in just a few moments. Let's let me check the chat real quick, see if we're all done with our meeting. Looks like not yet. Everybody's still hanging out over here in the meeting hall. But one thing we should bring up again is the update. For those just joining us and you're unaware of this, there was a pretty big update in iRacing today. I did a pretty good amount of it. I'm going to do the rest of it after the stream's over with tonight. But obviously a lot of big changes here. And let me, matter of fact, while we're going to sit here chatting, let's go over here and let me get you the notes for those who don't know what is going on with the updates. See if I can find it really quickly. In the news section. All right, here we go. So we got obviously some new cars and stuff, some new tracks. Some upgrades going on. So the we got especially on the oval side of things right now, got the debris refresh. So basically a comprehensive update to debris with new surface parameters for gravel and mud on the stream. So that's going to be interesting. Got that. New Hampshire's been upgraded. I believe Vegas got an update also, even though it's not really. Oh, maybe down here it's listed. Who knows? Got some netcode improvements. That might be fun. Some lighting upgrades, spotter damage effects, reports and stuff. AI racing's been updated a little bit, it looks like. AI opponents flashing their headlights when they're looking to make a move. That's interesting. And so on and so forth. So that's some of the updates coming up on with iRacing here. As Derek Jacobs out there logging some laps right now, let's check in with. Looks like the meeting's still going on. So Lauren, obviously a lot of things to say here tonight as he usually gets things clear and out there to the drivers. Let them know what their expectations are for tonight's 250-mile race. And I expect there to be a pretty good one here tonight when it's all over with. Having fun here in the old studio. Oh, man. All right, well, we're going to go trackside real quick. Let's get the anthem out of the way, and we'll come back for the start of the race here. We go trackside for the anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and on brave.
All right, back we are here at Talladega as we get ready for the 250 miles of racing. This 2.66 mile oval, 94 laps here tonight. Stages at lap 19 and 47. And those are going to be some pretty big stages here tonight when it is all said and done, because that is going to separate who could potentially compete for this championship when lap 94 is over with tonight and who won't be, as you could see one or two people join that battle in the race here this evening. Let's talk to the pole sitter here tonight. Of course, part of High Spirits Racing, that being Andrew Moore. Andy, obviously great job on your pole lap there. I think we've done this a couple times, so I'm going to ask you the same question as always. What do we do to turn this into a win?
Oh boy, survive.
Good start, but
Get
now
lucky, survive. Try to stay out front, out of the riffraff. It's going to be tough. It's real smooth around here. There's a lot of speed.
well, the question I have to think about here is, obviously, I go back to Daytona earlier this season, not last week, but the one 3 weeks ago, where we only had 2 cautions on a track that was pretty smooth. Do we expect that tonight, or with the wider surface, is that going to make it more daring for some people to make some aggressive moves, and could we see more yellows from it?
It could go either way. Like, if we get some time and the packs get spread out a little bit, maybe we can get some green flag laps. But I think that there's a lot of speed and tires will fall off a little bit. It does get tight if you keep the throttle down all the time. So there's going to be some management. We'll see what happens. I'm really not sure yet.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, man. Congratulations on getting another pole here, and maybe we'll talk to each other in Victory Lane.
Hey, thanks, Chris. See ya.
Absolutely, too. Andrew Moore, the pole sitter here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway in the 4th and final leg of the 87 cars here this evening, as we congratulate him on winning the pole, which of course is presented by Vivid EV. As we're about a minute or so away from the start of the race. And for those who haven't seen the schedule, let's send it to you again real quickly here. Of course, Talladega tonight. The next week, we stay here at Dega for a Super Late Model All-Star race. If you've never seen a Super Late Model on a Super Speedway, oh, that might be the funnest car of them all when it's all over with. So looking forward to that race next week. And then we hit the Xfinity car starting in January of 2025 from Daytona on the 7th. And in February, it'll be the Gen 4 cars and then the Gen 6 cars in March, going into the final week of April. And of course, if you notice, last week of April, the final race you'll see here on the Captain Esports Network, a full 500-mile race at Talladega Superspeedway. So we have got a lot of great racing to go here when it's all said and done. But right now, we are going to go trackside as the cars are going to start to grid here momentarily. And of course, well, virtually, Sweet Home Alabama is going to start playing on the speakers, because that's a Talladega tradition when they're coming to the 1 to green. As a matter of fact, we got a quick second here. Let's actually sneak in the point standings again for the leg here. The 87 cars, Gilbert, of course, leading Wells by 35. Shane Ward, Quentin Clark, Greg Thompson, Jason Branch, your top 6 all the way down the drift there in the 10th position. So we'll keep an eye on this, of course, with stage points and so much more when it is all said and done. As right now we go, as promised, trackside for the starting lineup here. Andrew Moore, 46-67, wins the pole. Sam Taylor in the Chase Elliott Hooters car going to start there in the 9th position. Al Likens, pretty aggressive driver, perfect paint scheme for him tonight. That 25 car, Daryl Johnson to his outside. Travis Gilbert leads the series with 4 wins so far this season. He's got Brian Hayes on his outside. Jason Branch, the winner from the 08 Daytona last week. He starts there in row 4 alongside AJ Condon. Shane Ward in drift there, row number 5. Row 6, Scott Wise and Joe Wells, who, well, is going to need a little help if he's going to continue his streak of championships. He's already got the first 2 legs complete. Can he get number 3 here tonight? He's going to need a little bit of help, but it is possible to be done. Quentin Clark, the winner of the opener in Daytona just a few weeks ago, and Stephen Melnick. Greg Thompson, Evan Perry, there row 8. Row 9, Derek Jacobs and Tommy Rogers. Brady Karowski and Tim Shiflett, there row 10. Ryan Wilson, James Hudson in row 11. Row 12, Joshua McKinney and Dusty White, unfortunately, is, I believe, starting a race from the pits. And as I said a minute ago, you can blame me for that because he put the Captain eSports on his car, which I don't know if really that ever gets good luck unless you're in another series where you have a whole team running the car. Then I guess that changes things. 94 laps tonight, and as mentioned, our stage breaks, which aren't really breaks, they're just, we stay green, you just award points at lap 19 and 97 here tonight. Or, I'm sorry, 19 and 47 before we get to lap 94, which will be the finish of the race, which is 250 miles. So cars working their way down the back straightaway. For those who've never seen these 87 cars, there's no restrictor plates. There's speeds of over 210 miles an hour. You're going to see them spread out because there's going to be some handling come into play. And it's going to be overall a fun one to watch here as we get to the final race of this car. And then kind of things change back to normal after this car is over with. You'll get more of the drafting style of super speedway racing because we'll go back into some of the more modern cars with downforce and you know, either tapered spacers or restrictor plates. All right, pace car. Gonna pull off here this time by. And into the hands of Andrew Moore and Sam Taylor. As here we go to the green flag for 94 laps and 250 miles as we crown an 87 champion from Talladega. Green flag. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com as mentioned. As everybody kind of spreads out a little bit, I see Jason Branch kind of moving his way to the bottom a little bit here. Not sure we're going to get the stage thing working. I wonder with this update if things got kind of messed up a little bit, though. But across the line, Sam Taylor leads lap 1. Leading green so far in the draft. These guys staying pretty close together right now, and they will while the tires are fresh. And, of course, they will start to wear a little bit. And that's where you'll see the handling more coming into play with these guys pushing already. Seeing 220 miles an hour, 225, and a couple cars towards the back. As they work their way to turn 3, and this is where you got to kind of slow it up a little bit. These cars have nowhere near the downforce. As Likens leading lap 2. Yeah, so unfortunately I won't be able to get to the stage. And stuff like that here tonight, so we'll do our best to call the race with what we got here as they run down the back straightaway. Is Travis Gilbert, that 22 car, got the door shut on them. Otherwise, they race down the back straightaway 2 and 3 wide. As up the track goes Quentin Clark in the 42 car. 44.36 last time by for James Hudson. So yeah, these cars are hauling the... Oh, don't spin in front of the leaders. Oh, boy. Here we go. Big wreck. The field. Oh, we might be counting cars not involved in this. I might have to jump in this race. I might win. I'm counting at least 15 cars. Oh, Buddy Elf got some damage. I mean, there's not many cars without damage. And even the pace cars out there sliding around. Caution out for the first time. I think the paramedics are being called. And that escalated quickly. '93 just gets into the right rear of the 25, and unfortunately, carnage. Actually, Buddy Elf did not get damage, it looks like. I mean, I'm counting 3 cars, maybe 2, 3 cars here. We're gonna find a way to count here. Yeah, you guys see the push here from Gilbert gives a 93, and then 93 just gets to the right rear of Likens, and it gets them all jacked up sideways. The 9's gonna get through there. There goes Joe Wells. There's 2. There's 3. They hit each other there. 3 cars? Am I seeing this right? Maybe 4. Quentin Clark. So for a series that does allow a reset, a lot of drivers just had to use one right there. And you might almost wonder if some of these drivers might hold off on using it. On board with Greg Thompson back here, but we are looking at the largest wreck we've had this season so far. Jason Branch checks up back there. You got cars in the air over there. I think that was Scott Wise on his lid. Greg does a good job checking up, so does Branch. So we'll add those to the list. That's 5 cars. Let's get this, let's look at the blimp camera here. Yeah, a lot of cars involved in that. Wow. You got hoods and stuff. There goes the pace car flying through a hood. One last view. Let's watch this from any old grandstands here and see how this would have looked. They race into the tri-oval there, and things escalate. I mean, so far 3 cars have gotten through there, and you got a couple in the back, as I'm seeing over here to the right. I'm going to go ahead and make the call of about 7 cars get out of here unscathed, without damage. But there's one last view we're going to do real quickly here, and that is on board the 31 car. Yeah, breath of discretion might be advised here. This is going to... There goes the leader around. He gets in there, and here comes Melnick in, and he goes over. Through cars, and... Caution comes out here for the first time as, oh, we'll get the one to go signal here and go back racing at lap 7. All right, so getting ready to go green. Joe Wells, Quentin Clark now going to be the front of the field. Dusty White, who, hey, by the way, the luckiest man in this race might be right there in that 11 car right now, because he started this race from pit road and just missed this whole entire thing. He sits in the 3rd position right now. AJ Condon, Ford, Stephen Melnick, Scott Wise, and all these cars back here likely have used resets. And I'll get a confirmation here if Lauren's listening once she gets a quick opportunity, but I believe there's one reset. There might be a second one in the 87. I can't remember if they were promised a second one, but I believe they have one reset to use here, and I'm pretty sure 3/4, if not 9/10 of the field, just used it to get that car fixed here early in this race. So at least we're going to get the rust out right now from that caution, huh? As pace car going to pull off, and we'll come to the green flag here at lap number 7. As into the restart zone, Joe Wells gets a pretty good launch. Quentin Clark on the outside lane. As we go back racing. As these cars get up to speed, this is where you're going to see who got the damage fix and who didn't, because you might see some cars fall off the pace here a little bit, and that would be because of the damage they have on their car here. But otherwise, Joe Wells pulls out to the lead. Quentin Clark, a little blinker fluid might be needed for his car. As these guys get up to speed, already over 200 miles an hour down to turn 3. And everybody did get to stay on the lead lap here after that wreck, so everybody good to go, got the reset in and got their car fixed up. As across the line, Quentin Clark leads that lap, and Condon to the outside, 3 wide, but by himself. Oh, and around goes Condon and up and over and tumbling. And the second caution waves as the 5 has blown over. See here. Looks like the 5 was coming down, 25 going up, and the meeting of the minds right there in the middle. And a painful blowover for the 5. And as per usual, we have to go on board with this one. Talking about a very exotic inside of the car as he goes over, tumbles a few times. Watch one more time here at the contact. About 3.5 flips or so before he finally lands on his wheels. Obviously, second caution waves here at lap number 8. As we got a pretty good amount of leaders coming in here to, I think, top off the fuel cell. As Lauren has informed me, by the way, it is one reset. So a lot of these drivers, thank you, Lauren, have used that reset pretty much here at the first 2 cautions. That's going to make things interesting. You wonder, does that potentially settle the guys down a little bit and allow those drivers to maybe take a deep breath and see a little bit more patient racing? Does it not matter? We'll have to see. Out. Get one to go this time by. Let's get a close up here of the Dusty white car. Of course, Dusty sent me a message. Said, "Man, go run a little paint scheme here for you." Look at that. Got the eSports on the 11 car. Pretty cool. Good paint scheme there. Little camo up there at the top, which is cool. Dusty right now in the second position after starting the race, as mentioned, on pit road. Tommy Rogers still in. He has lost a couple laps now, so not sure what's going on with the 34 car. We are 8 laps to go before the end of stage number 1. Again, unfortunately, don't have the telemetry to stick up here on the screen for you here tonight, as I believe the app, which is a fantastic one, by the way. Unfortunately, I think with the update to iRacing has kind of made some flaws there that it'll get, I'm sure, get updated really quickly. Big shout out to Blair Thomas for all the hard work he has done to put this app together. It's what I've been using here throughout the season, well, at least this latter part of the season, to kind of highlight how many laps are left in the stage and stuff. And knowing Blair, he'll probably be on it pretty quickly to get her done. All right, so as they come to the green flag, it'll be Quentin Clark, Dusty White, Scott Wise, James Houston, and Stephen Melnick, your top 5. And we've already seen some pretty big action here in the start of this Masters of the Draft series, which of course is presented by Vet to Track, and a big shout out to those guys, always doing some pretty big things. And for those who don't know, Vet to Track is a sponsor that goes out there and helps out veterans and get them out there potentially racing. It's a really cool deal. You find that outlet through motorcycle racing and riding on a specialized track. It's a pretty good, cool deal. So big shout out to Vet to Track. As we come to the green, the complete lap number 11 here. Right now, green flag, here we go. Clark with a pretty good restart. Scott Wise there behind him. As Dusty, a little bit of a slower restart. Really no help behind him. Closest is James Hudson there in that 2 car. As they race down the back straightaway, Scott Wise looking to get the lead. Not able to do so yet as Melnick gets to the back bumper of the 42 as they work their way to turn 3. Buddy Elf there in the 3rd position. That's Evan Perry in the 72 car. There's another Christmas car behind him, a Tim Shiflett. The Grinch car, I think. I have to see a close-up of that one. Oh, yeah, we got the Grinch all right. Ooh, hold on, Timmy. The Grinch might be driving that car. as he decides to abort and fall to the back. He's like, I'm getting out of this mess. Yeah, it might not be a bad idea for those who have lost a reset already and down to their final car. As Scott Wise goes to the front, Clark to second. Big shout out to the viewers hanging out in chat watching tonight. You can make sure you share it out to your friends and family who are watching. Eddie Rorardi, of course, not able to be here tonight. Sorry to hear that. Dylan Picklesimmer also in the same boat. Drift always saying hi as per usual. You wonder if the aggressiveness might calm down a little bit here. Brings across the line, he'll lead lap number 14, so we're seeing lead changes all the time now. Oh, and around goes the 9 of Sam Taylor. And I see one car lost its bumper. I think that was at the 77 maybe. It is. He lost the front end, so the front row has just spun over here in 3 and 4. Now caution's coming out is more wrecking. The 72, oh, there goes Buddy Elf. The 93 of Daryl Johnson. The 2 cars gone around. And now Jason Branch is spun out. And 3rd caution. So unlike Daytona, unfortunately, this is a little bit of a wild start here. And just a big checkup here. Looks like some contact and some cars not checking up in the back, it looks like, unfortunately. Let's see all this again. So Gilbert just gets in the back of the 1. They're trying to save it up, but there's checking up here, and unfortunately, bam, into the wall goes the 72. He goes up and over. 93 gets collected by the 2. Here comes 39 of Shane Ward. And others involved in this, bringing out the caution. Let's see where Jason Branch was back here. He's all the way back here as he gets caught up in this. He was out there minding his business as everybody slows up. Oh, and Branch gets clobbered by somebody. That's not going to make him happy. It was the wreck with the 9 cars. Here's Tommy Rogers back here. Oh, and it's Tommy, unfortunately, gets in the back of the 28 car. Caution comes out here, lap 17. Scott Wise, Josh McKinney, Al Likens, Joe Wells, Travis Gilbert, your top 5. And I guess we'll take a quick minute here while we've had a little bit of a interesting start of this race. Let's go talk to a driver real quickly here, and I think I might have a good one to talk to. And that being the leader of this race. Let's get Scott up here. I would call him the boss man, but let's be real. It's actually the boss lady, Lauren, there next to him as Scott joins us. Obviously, Scott, wild start to the race here. Probably the biggest wreck we've seen yet this season, but after everybody went and got their backup cars out of the haulers and put them back out here on the track, you find yourself in the 31 car up front.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy to start. I actually thought I almost had it cleared and just got unlucky, but got her fixed, got her back rolling. Feeling good tonight. Hoping to finish how I'm running tonight. It's been a rough block for me.
Yeah, been a little bit of a rough one, but kind of surprised in a way to see this going on, especially after that first Daytona race we had in this car, with only had the 2 cautions there, and here already with 3 quick.
Yeah, I think there's some guys getting a little more antsy as we're kind of getting to the halfway point of the season. I think it's kind of contributing a little bit, but hopefully these action early will kind of calm some guys down a little bit, and we can get some good racing in.
Tell Lauren to pipe it down. We're trying to do an interview here. Hey, no, in all seriousness, man. Best of luck here, and very interesting part coming up here, because you're gonna looks like have a 1-lap run to the end of the stage here.
Oh yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try.
Absolutely, man. Good luck. As Scott Wise, of course, leading this race, we'll get him down to his channel. And it's always interesting because, I mean, I've never seen a picture of how they have things set up, but I envision like Scott looking at one wall as he's racing, and then Lauren's looking at another wall or something, and they're right next to each other. So I can only imagine when like Scott causes a wreck, Lauren reaches over and like smacks him with something. And she probably cusses me out when she hears me talk about her. That's okay. Lauren's awesome. Big shout out to what Lauren and Scott do for the iRacing community, allowing these people to come in here and race and have a good old time. But Daryl Johnson behind the wall, Evan Perry, James Hudson, Tommy Rogers. And again, after tonight's race, it will be a all-star race next week in the super late model car before a 2-week break. And the Xfinity car will take off in November. Yes, here we go, pace car bringing them off turn 4. Lauren updating you. So they backwards L-shaped desk. Oh, so they're actually facing. Oh, so it's like you guys can play Battleship on your computers. I just realized. And he absolutely gets smacked when he's being an idiot. I don't know if I can use that word on the air, but she laughs when I call her out, but cusses me out basically as expected. All right, Scott Wise brings them to the green, lap 19. So here we go, final lap of stage 1. Can the guy behind the Wise Guy iRacing Graphics win this stage? He's got a very important Joe Wells there behind him, and I say very important because Joe, if he's going to have a shot at this leg of the championship, might need to win this thing right here. Travis Gilbert back there in the 3rd car inside lane as the 24 McKinney clears. As they race off turn 4, cars swerving, trying to get away. Contact between Gilbert and Melnick. As they come to the start-finish line, the 24 goes around, and Joe Wells wins stage 1. A very important stage win. And now they're wrecking again as the 25 of Likens into the wall. Carnage ensuing tonight here at Talladega. Joe Wells is going to bring him back to the base car. And he is the Wise Guy iRacing Graphics stage winner, Joe Wells, in the 3 car. I do not have, again, the postings for you of who is where in the stage. So obviously the one thing I do know is that Joe Wells won that stage. So congratulations on the Wise Guy iRacing graphics. And again, Blair, I'm sure will work on the timing and scoring. When you have updates like this, it always messes up a lot of stuff. And I shouldn't say messes up, but changes the coding on it. So obviously once he gets that figured out, we'll be able to show you the stage winners and stuff like that here tonight in the future. But Joe Wells getting it tonight in stage number 1. So congratulations to him. And let's see what all took place. It's actually pretty much started back at Josh McKinney in the tri-oval, as I think Scott Wise just got hit by something. Now, he got a little loose there. I don't know if I can blame Scott all the way for that. The 24 goes around. He gets in the inside wall hard. And then going into turn 1, all of a sudden, well, Scott Wise gets into the 25 car. I'll have to look at a replay before I say anything again, but Scott might have gotten hit by something now. You definitely know there's a broadcaster's jinx when the car you interviewed ends up being contacted with 2 cars and having the cautions come out. Caution waves here for the 4th time now tonight, as we got some pit stops. A lot of cars coming in for at least fuel, but likely tires and fuel. Quentin Clark, Stephen Melnick, Brian Hayes all stay out, and then Shane Ward going to be the first one off the pit road. As others either getting damage fixed now or getting tires and fuel. And again, stage 2 will go all the way to lap number 47, which is the halfway point of this race. But we should get one to go this time by once again. And again, thank you to the viewers hanging out here this evening in chat. As always, share with your friends and family if they are watching. We appreciate it very much. Also appreciate our good friends, starting with Jim Herrick and 40 Racewear, of course, with gloves and pants, or shirts, I should say, and gloves and other great items for you to check out. Make sure you go to 40racewear.com to connect with Mr. Herrick and get yourself some upgraded equipment for your computer, from shoes, again, as mentioned, to shirts and gloves and so much more. And a big shout out to Mark over at MC Racing, of course, hanging out in downtown. Went by there a couple nights ago and couldn't help but see this big ray of light coming out of the office there, where you can go in and do some sim racing and stuff. And I mean, he's got that place all types of bright looking. It's so cool. And you can check it out, of course, downtown. But a big shout out for Mark for always streaming the Captain eSports Network there for his friends that are sitting there doing some sim racing. They have something to watch either while they're waiting, or they can be in there running the little drift racetrack he has put together, and so much more. So big shout out to Mark for what he does there. All right, 4 cautions just completed. Stage number 4. Will we finally get this show on the road with a little bit of green flag racing? Will we see another quick caution? Only time will tell here at Talladega, the finale tonight, the Masters of the Draft Series. And here comes some very colorful cars coming to the green flag. As Quentin Clark leads Stephen Melnick. Notice some cars up towards front. They're kind of hanging back a little bit. As Jason Branch going to board down to the bottom lane, and others going to do the same. As we see the 2 and 3 wide, Shane Ward getting there behind the 3 car, going to give him a little push as they work their way through the tri-oval. And to the start-finish line, that time by Joe Wells, picking up where he left off at the end of stage 1. As Ward getting up there now, as mentioned, Melnick, Scott Wise, Quentin Clark, all those guys fighting it out. Saw some 2 and 3 wide there down the back straightaway. As across the line that time by was Shane Ward leading that lap. So you wonder, has it finally gotten to that point in the race where everybody does take a little bit of a break and calm down here? Let the car race come to them as you see Travis Gilbert weaving through traffic. And now he's getting squeezed up there. Sam Taylor going to put him towards the outside wall. I think right now these guys still kind of getting used to the way this car drafts, and with the handling and stuff like that, really haven't had a chance to have a very long green flag run. We've seen cars on pit road with the cautions and stuff, as Scott Wise now climbs the bank and he wants to lead in that 31 car. As look at the 3 wide. 4 wide almost. There's Melnick. Did he get squeezed into the wall there? That was pretty close. The GLM fan club out watching tonight. See Robert Andrews hanging out now too. So appreciate all you guys hanging out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. As Gilbert up the middle without help though. Gilbert going to find him back on the outside, going to bring potentially Taylor with him. It's always tricky to draft in this car because you can't really get up there and push. You got to just kind of be patient and let the race come to you when it's all over with. But and Gilbert goes to the lead with Joe Wells there behind him and then Quentin Clark there behind him. Three wide still down the backstretch. Joe Wells on that bottom side. He and Clark are going to come together. And into the wall goes Joe Hart and takes his teammate with him. Gilbert's involved. Others involved. The top two in points go around. And the caution comes out again. There are probably some pretty unhappy people here right now. Let's see how this escalates. They just all come together right there in turn 3 and 4. A very tough wreck for the top guys in points. Ride with drift. There's the wreck right there. Watch one more time. Caution out, and we got leaders on pit road. Everyone except Josh McKinney. As you see, 3 cars out on the track, everybody else on pit road. There you see the damage on the 22 car. A lot of these cars getting damage fixed is basically what's going on now. A lot of them use that reset up pretty earlier. Say that 3 times fast. Earlier. More recently, maybe would be the better way to word it. So there's McKinney out there in front right now. Sam Taylor, Brian Hayes, and here comes everybody off pit road now. With likely 4 tires and fuel. They do have unlimited sets of tires in this car. So they can pit as many times as they want to and take tires and keep on fighting to try to get that top 10 finish. Top 5 or who knows, maybe even that win. We'll see if we get the green this time by. See the pace car lights are, well, now they're back on. Actually, we're never off because we'd have doubled up. We'll get at least one more lap. But while we come to the ground, I'm actually going to mute my mic for a quick second. right, so getting ready to come to the green. This caution brought to you by Walmart Water, unofficially. And what a couple days it's been here on the captain's side of things. Of course, the holidays officially beginning, and of course, being a guy that delivers for FedEx, it's a pretty busy time period. Yesterday, going out on road and having the most stops I've done yet in the area I deliver in here in Indiana. And then going out today and having a very light load, but my body was so tired, I felt like it took the same amount of time. Unfortunately, if you notice I sound maybe a little more tired or whatever, trust me, I am. Well, we're fighting through it and getting ready to go as McKinney, Sam Taylor, Brian Hayes, Stephen Melnick, Andrew Moore. Your top 5, Scott Wise, Shane Ward, AJ Condon, Tim Shiflett, and Brady Korowski, your top 10. As we come to the green here, both Travis Gilbert and Joe Wells are on track, and they are a lap down as they come to the green flag. So this is going to be a very interesting stage to set the stage for the finish of this race. Could it be someone else's race to win when it's all over with? Here we go as McKinney gets on the pedal, and we're back at it. McKinney gets up to speed here. Hayes going to move up to second at 47 car. And, a little contact there almost as Zanina Taylor goes topside. Melnick's going to come up the middle 3 wide. Say Andrew Moore looking pretty good, but now Melnick's going to go to the front. Here comes Taylor now. Drag racing to the line. Melnick gets it. We've still got 13 laps to go in this stage. Race that pretty much anything that can happen will. And if you feel like something will happen in this race to you, there's a chance. And what we've seen here in the first half of this race has been a wild one. Starting to see the cars get a little loose off turn 4 there. That's interesting. Melnick stuck to the back of that 9 car. Through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. See McKinney trying to hold on there as 2 or 3 cars trying to jump in from that second row. Taylor now moving to the front, but this track, you go back to the heyday of this car. I mean, there were lead changes galore, and there were some wild finishes. I immediately think back to 1981. Ron Bouchard going to victory lane in a surprise pass of Dale Earnhardt trying to pass Darrell Waltrip. So many great Talladega histories of restart finishes and definitely made the 87 car back in the day, and even today, a favorite on iRacing and a favorite to most people there. Scott Wise brings it off turn 4 as he leads now, so pretty much everybody picking a turn to lead laps. Right on board with the Brian Hayes' car. The New Jersey's Veterans Network, number 47. Always a big appreciation for the veterans who are continuing to fight for their country and allow people like myself to be able to do this kind of fun stuff. Now Andrew Moore into the picture as he crosses the start-finish line. 38 laps in as we complete 100 miles in this 250-mile race. The front, we check on this front 9 cars right now in the lead pack as they're getting tight here. Handling coming into play now a little bit as Josh, or I should say, the 22 car of Travis Gilbert about became a sandwich there as he's trying to get himself back on the lead lap with that car. As they complete lap 38. And next week it is an all-star race for the super late models, and then we return with the Xfinity car from Daytona in 2 weeks. So looking forward to a little holiday break as the 11 gets loose down the back straightaway and saves it. He had that thing all kinds of sideways, hands and feet on the wheel. As up front, AJ Condon to the front. As now you see the pack kind of separating out a little bit here as Condon leads this pack into turn 1. You see these cars kind of scrambling out a little bit as they continue to race hard. Longest green flag run we've had here so far, and you see the field is now separated out by about 3 seconds or so. 8 cars in this lead pack, and in the second pack with Sam Taylor and Drift and Brady Karowski and those guys. Shouldn't say Drift. Quentin Clark is who I'm thinking of. Hope everybody's enjoying their Tuesday evening. Again, hit that subscribe button if you're new inside the chat. So can Condon get himself a win here tonight? Andrew Moore looking pretty good. And of course, the usual suspects, Scott Wise, Shane Ward, those guys who have either come close to getting a win or have gone to victory lane here in this Vet the Track Masters of the Draft Series. Andrew not really coming off the bumper, that 5, and you see the 5 is kind of trying to run a little bit of a speedway line here per se. He runs it high off the corner to get the draft or the straightaway going, and then down into the corner to the bottom. Lets the car roll up the track, and let's see if he picks up Andrew again here. As this time Scott Wise is going to get in front of him. And across the line he goes. So Scott Wise leading another lap here in that 31 car. Right on board with Condon. Second position for him right now as Travis Gilbert has unlapped himself, or about to unlap himself the hard way, as he goes inside of the 31 car, and that'll put him to be in 1 lap down, and he's now the only car that I see 1 lap down pack looking pretty sporty right now. Let's go check on some other packs of cars. Got 2 cars running 8th and 9th, and then Dusty White right here in this pack with Quentin Clark and Tim Shiflett, Brady Korowski. As these guys race just outside the top 10 position right now. We ran on board with Jason Branch. I think he's been just kind of hanging out, trying to stay on the lead lap. And this could backfire on him a little bit if this race stays green. Because we normally do not see those kind of cautions in a race. They're trying to lap himself there from Wise and then Condon and then Moore. What Gilbert needs is the caution to fly pretty much immediately here, unless he can find a way to get on the lead lap from a lap down, but that's going to be pretty tough to do without some help. And that helped right there in front of him with that caution flag, but Scott Wise doing a good job of keeping him behind him. There's that Vet the Track lap car going to the lead of the pack, but not the lead of the race. That is still Scott Wise who leads. That's what makes this track so interesting. At 2.66 miles, it's so wide that you can pretty much run whatever lane you want to and get away with it. Of course, this tonight being the first league race here that the captain's been around and others have been around, where debris and stuff starts racking up on the track itself and other things can happen. Now I think we're fairly safe for anything like that happening here tonight, but you never know. You get a big wreck in that front straightaway and get some dirt and stuff on the track. It'd be interesting to see what that experiment does with the new build. You wonder now, it's the longest run of the race, how much tires are coming into play as I see that AJ Condon goes around and will flip into the wall hard with the Ford drift. And caution coming out again. That was a hard lick for the 5 car. Right at the halfway point of the race, and oh, by the way, should say the end of stage 2, as Scott Wise has picked up stage 2's win. I got caught off track. I'm used to that ticker helping me out. But Scott Wise, congratulations him. He gets his second stage win here. So he's going to stop and wait on the pace car here, but he wins stage number 2, presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. We should see everybody in here topping to fuel off. And Scott still sits there and waits on the pace car. As there it is right there, coming to turn 4. He's going to come to pit road along with pretty much all the leaders here. So 4 tires and fuel for everybody here. let's see who wins the race off pit road. Brady Kurowski actually stayed out. And I think Jill Wells might end up trying to wave around here. We'll have to see how that goes, as Gilbert's going to win the race off pit road. Melnick going to be second. Scott Wise, Andrew Moore, your top 5 here. As there's the K27 car leading this race, that G-Lighting Motors, kind of with a slight version, a little bit of a Trans Am look there, but pretty cool Hot Wheels paint scheme on that 27 car, and then Gilbert back there behind him. Of course, Vet to Track, big shout out to those guys as they help veterans utilize their opportunity to get out there on a specialized track and run a few laps on a motorcycle and stuff. A pretty cool deal Vet to Track is helping out with. Again, big shout out to the viewers hanging out here tonight. One more broadcast this week, tomorrow night. And then we'll be all done for the rest of the week. A big shout out to those who have enjoyed the AI racing for the Cup Series, the What If Series as I'm calling it. So we throw them in scenarios, real drivers, well, AI editions, all running their cars. And basically, we score the points and all that stuff, do some stage racing and things. But last week we tried to do the Bristol race, and unfortunately had some issues and stuff that had to take care of. And we'll try it again this week coming up, but should be able to finish that and get the few short tracks that we have on the schedule there lined up, ready to go. But right now we're getting ready to go green here at lap number 49. The Stage 2 winner, Scott Wise, will begin third. Shane Ward there behind him in fifth. You got Andrew Moore and Josh McKinney now back up to the top 6. For those wondering, again, next week it is an all-star race for these guys. We'll have an open and a finale, of course, for the main eventers. We'll have the all-star race, and we'll come back for the first of 4 Xfinity races at Daytona in January. So obviously, it's the last time we get a chance to talk. We want to wish everybody a happy holiday season. Because obviously the broadcasts are going to be less and less as we get going. And then actually, when we come back in 2025, you'll hear the captain one time a week. And that'll be on Tuesday nights as we come back to the green. As Kurowski gets himself a good restart here. 43 laps to go. Everybody's going to have to make at least one pit stop to get to the finish of this race. As Condon, no, it's not Condon. That is the 39 of Shane Ward, I believe, falling to the back a little bit. That's Melnick to the front with Andrew Moore behind him. Melnick trying to hold off the pole sitters. Here comes Andrew Moore trying to get this lead. Got him run down the back straightaway as here comes the pack catching up to him. 2, 3, 4 wide almost. Up the middle comes Sam Taylor with a monster of a run. Scott Wise jumps all the way to the top side. Don't put himself in the wall. As the sun starts to come out here at Talladega. In this track built on a historic site. It was a former World War II war base. Airplanes would fly in and land, and that's where the dirt from Talladega Superspeedway, if you notice that the airport tracks are pretty much on dirt. That's where these planes land and take off from. These guys doing a great job swapping out the lead as Moore leads another lap there. I mean, I don't see that car that is able to protect the lead as much here tonight, so I think this could go to anybody. Into 3 and 4, and so complete 54 laps this time by. That's what makes this 87 racing kind of fun. You don't have to worry about the restrictor plates and so on and so forth. Watching that one car, Melnick, Scott Wise there behind him. The 5 of Condon behind him. As now 3 wide for the lead as Andrew Moore takes it to the top. Oh, in contact though, the 9 almost goes for a spin. Good save on his part, as thankfully nobody is there behind him, or below him I should say, as that could have been ugly. This guy's putting on a great show, makes you want to sit here and watch. It's been a lot of fun here. I know we've had a few cautions, but these guys doing everything they can to put themselves in a position to win this race. As Gilbert's going to cross the line first on an inside lane, but in the end, the 9's going to get the bonus point if he hasn't led a lap yet, because Gilbert's a lap down still. Now in the tail end of the lead lap, I should say. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. Gilbert took the lucky dog, got back on the lead lap. He is in 3rd right now. So Gilbert actually going to lead that lap, I believe, last time by. So here comes the 22 car now, as he has come flying through the field and into position to win this race. And there goes the 22 to the lead. The cars moving around as always here. We complete 58 laps, and I know normally I do this on restarts, but Super Speedways always allow the opportunity to do something kind of creative with it. So we're going to do something creative with the Turn It Up segment. We're going to allow you to do that right now. So turn those speakers up and enjoy 87's here at Talladega. Fantastic racing going on here. I'm watching cars go side by side, and any run they get, they are up there ready to battle as Moore continues to lead. McKinney up there now. Melnick and Travis Gilbert, your front forward, and a little bit of gap back here to Scott Wise with Clinton Clark as Joe Wells and Sam Taylor come to pit road. And we're starting to see the pit stops that will likely be the last ones here this race. As these cars fan out 2 and 3 wide, trying to get the draft on each other. We're trying to work with Melnick there as Gilbert tries to get the run to the outside lane. Gilbert continues to battle for the lead, and a big shout out to Vet the Track, as mentioned, the league sponsor here, this National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing, the Masters of the Draft, presented by Vet the Track, as they have been helping veterans out and continue to do so each and every moment. And basically what they do is they get veterans to give them an opportunity to go have some fun on a racetrack through motorcycle racing. And of course, riding on that specialized track. Also a big shout out to Vivid EV for electronic vehicles like golf carts and so on and so forth that they help out with. So always grateful for those sponsors that help the Captain eSports Network continue. Come down to 30 laps to go next time by. You see the field splitting up just a little bit more. You wonder, when will green flag pit stops come? We pitted at lap 48. We're actually coming up on lap 20 of this run here, so we still got plenty of laps before we see the leaders on pit road to take fuel here. I'm going to say somewhere probably around 50 laps or so. Over 22-gallon fuel cells, but however, a little less fuel that they're able to preserve. Front 6 or 7 starting to pull away. Last car in line back there is Ryan Wilson into 23. And when I talked to a couple drivers before the race, they all said the one thing they wanted to do is win here. It's like these guys can't hold on to the lead. Every lap, somebody's slingshotting past the other. As Travis Gilbert leaving pit road, it looks like, as he gets up to speed in that 22 car. So he needs this race to finish, or I should say the pit stop run here to continue on. No yellows or anything like that for this 22 car. It could be interesting as Travis tries to win that championship. Let's, as a matter of fact, while we race here, let's show you the point standings. As here comes Drift to pit road along with Greg Thompson. As the point standings going into tonight's race, 35, the separation between Gilbert and Joe Wells. Gilbert, I think, pretty much got this in hand, but you just never know. McKinney up front there, Melnick, Moore, Wise, and AJ Condon. I think another scenario you got to look at here. These guys pitted at lap 48. And we're completing lap 68 right now. It's just 20 laps. Do you go another 10 or so? Out for these guys that are getting these huge runs, because if you got a lane that's open and you know that lane can be successful, you go to it. Make them protect that lane and not let you through there. Oh, and around goes Melnick. Hard into the inside wall, along with Andrew Moore. Melnick looked like got loose off turn 2. That car's probably broken. Yeah, he's going to be okay. No caution yet. Might come out here. Surprised Joe didn't go down there and... close enough as Melnick going around again. And hard into the inside wall. As we stay green. And looks like the one car did get going finally. car now, so Melnick a lap down. So a tough break for him as you see the 9 getting pushed. As a lap car, Darrell Johnson pushing that 9 car across the start-finish line. As they try to get away from these other cars, McKinney and that 24 car there behind him. And the 31 is Scott Wise. Yes, here we go. All of a sudden, 3 wide. How about 4 wide as the 9 shuts the door? You saw the 93 of Johnson. His caution comes out. Caution. And looking for it, the 39. It looks like a Shane Ward has gone around. Off turn 4. So longest green flag run officially over with. Shane Ward brings out the caution. And now these guys can make it the rest of the way. Those who came to pit road, a little bit of a tough break. It looks like Drift is going to be the lucky dog in the 4 car. Let's see what happens here with the leaders. Obviously, I would expect everybody for the top 13 to come to pit road, Shane Ward included. So yeah, 13 cars. Drift and Thompson and Wells, all those guys pitted later. As here come the leaders in. See who stays out and who comes to pit road here. More tires and fuel. And you got to remember these cars, the 87, the pit crews are just as fast as they were back in the heyday. 22 or so second stops as the race off pit road, won by the 24, McKinney. Gilbert going to be second. Ryan Wilson third. And we're going to take an opportunity here. I'm going to keep the stream going, obviously, and keep the screen on here as we'll come back. I'm going to obviously take a bathroom break here real quickly. Just take a break, come back, and get you these last 20 laps here from Talladega and the Masters of the Draft Series. All right, back we are. As we have 20 laps to go. Josh McKinney, Travis Gilbert, Scott Wise, Ryan Wilson, Jason Branch, now your top 5. Appreciate all the viewers hanging out here tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed the racing so far, and hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. Been some fun racing. I've caught myself a few times here tonight just kind of watching. Pretty easy to do when you're sitting here just talking, and all of a sudden you're just watching moves go on. And I kind of envision myself when, I'd run these cars a couple of times, but either way, been a lot of fun here. All right, green flag is McKinney and Gilbert, Ryan Wilson, Scott Wise, bringing them to the green. That's Eddie Rardy. How's my driving? Crystal clear. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in a couple. I hope to see you next week in the All-Star race if you're there. But otherwise, if not, have a good holiday. As Gilbert, right to the bottom, takes the lead of this race. Looking to win his first leg of the championship here tonight. As it's been the Joe Wells show the first 2 legs. And of course, each leg being a series of 4 races. Joe Wells winning the first 2. And Gilbert with a 35-point lead entering tonight. And Joe Wells right now back on the lead lap in his 16th position. But gonna need some help. Likely. As he took the wave around, I believe, right there. So he's gonna need some help from a caution to be able to get fuel and make it to the finish of this race. And obviously you would think chances are there's a big one coming or something, which we already had a big one earlier in this race. As side by side down the back straightaway they go. Look at Jason Branch up to the 4th position. That's your winner from the 08 Daytona track. Last week, Derek Jacobs making his debut in the top 5 tonight. Every run you get here, you got to take it. And when you have speeds of 228 miles an hour down the straightaway, I mean, you got to be able to make whatever run you can get here. In fact, let's go on board. Pick a car here real quick. Let's go on board with, Quentin Clark, 42 car. Let's check out some speeds here. How fast is this 42 car going as he hangs out here towards the back of the draft? Look at this. 212, 213, and I don't even know if he's getting pulled along, but not really getting that fast run in the car. There's a big run coming up the middle, 222, 223. Maybe a little bit of a tailwind down the back straightaway too, something to watch as he slows it down to about 200 into the corner. And a little bit of a speedway rendition, if you will. But you got to slow it down a little bit through the corner there. You see how the speed's not climbing really as much here. Obviously the wind pushing back against the front of the car, I think, here. So let's get to 220. Let's watch into 3 and 4 here. Let's see if that car climbs back up to 225 miles an hour. They are getting some hellacious runs here. Scott Wise, top side. If you're in it, you can win this race. Gilbert up front, McKinney, Scott Wise, Ryan Wilson, your top 4. As Quentin Clark just got up in the outside wall. And caution's going to come out. Scott Wise has gone around. Wise into 31. So let's see what happened to Scott to bring the caution out. Derek Jacobs, another car involved. So tough break for Derek. And he is, as he had kind of sat back and waited. You see Scott's already gone around right there, and Derek just kind of clips him. Here, let's try it again. And Ryan Wilson here behind him in the 23. He gets him at the outside wall, and then Wilson has just that momentum. It carries him to the back end. There's a 31 hitting the outside wall. All right, so who is going to win this race? We're going to likely get a restart here with 10 laps to go, I would think. Leaders are coming to pit road here. And by the way, this caution played perfectly for Joe Wells, who did not have to come back to pit road and now is safe to go to the finish on fuel and on the lead lap. As will be 4 tires and fuel for these guys. You know, would you dare try 2 tires? I would think not. So you go race off pit road. Ryan Wilson will be the first one. And that could be a 2-tire stop. 16 seconds. And of course, after the race tonight, we'll talk to our winner in Vet the Track Victory Lane. We'll also have our Superior Templating Hard Charger Award. Be the driver that qualified and started in the back. And we'll see where they finish up when it's all said and done. I'll be coming up after the race. Plus, we'll talk to the top 3 finishers and crown the champion. Pace car lights are on. Let's talk to get at least one car here. Let's talk to 23 who's leading this race. And let's see what he thinks here. Ryan Wilson, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on tonight, Chris?
Not much, man. Hey, pretty gutsy move here. Looks like maybe a little strategy call. Talk a little bit about that, and is the car going to be good enough to handle the lead here for the next 10 laps?
Well, we took 2 on the outside, and we got tangled up there a little bit with Scott. He got up onto the wall, and tried my best to save it off of him. But as per my teammates, they say the car looks pretty good. It feels pretty good. So,
Yeah.
man, I really hope we can outlast.
Well, it looks like a race car to me, so I think you're good to go. Well, obviously been a wild race here. And talk about the runs a little bit. And you know, it's one of those where I feel like you got to take the advice of Dale Earnhardt Jr. when he says, "You get the run, you take it."
Well, there's a certain show on TV that, you know, their slogan's always been outwit, outlast, outplay. So I feel like it's more a little bit of that, and then take them as you come for sure. But just making sure that timing's right's key.
Well, obviously, hopefully it works out for you here tonight. You got that Pontiac looking pretty good. And let's see if you can get old that Frosty up there in your hood.
It's Evil Frosty.
Evil Frosty. Jeez, we got Evil Frosty. We got the Grinch. And then we got old Buddy the Elf back there. So look out. Christmas spirit is on. Let's see if we can get to 23 victory lane.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You too, buddy. Ryan Wilson, the leader here as we get ready to come to the green. Get Ryan down to his R&R team. And we will have exactly 10 laps to go. And Joe Wells going to restart this race now officially in the 11th position or so. So here we go. Pace car pulls in. Look at that. A little out of order, but 23, 22, 24. Your front three cars. As Wilson gets a pretty good jump here on Gilbert. Green flag out. 24 getting a pretty good push from Shiflet the Grinch. Down the back straightaway they go. 24 gets a pretty good push there from the 77 of Andrew Moore, and here comes the pack all together. We all remember they were this close together on lap one, and what happened early? You know, these cars takes one little mistake. Through the tri-oval, it is McKinney leading by a nose. Oh, and McKinney's sideways in front of the field. Multiple cars saving it. McKinney and the 11 of Dusty White were both sideways. And both of them caught the car. Another car sideways back there. Meanwhile, the Polar Express up here leading with the Evil Frosty and Evil Grinch. And one car just lost its rear bumper back there. It might have been Sam Taylor who was in the outside wall. And around goes Wilson and over. And once again, a caution for a car that I interviewed. Let's see what happens. Unfortunately, Frosty is melted. And the Grinch stole Wilson's race car. A tough break for those cars involved. Let's watch again here from the crash cam. Pretty good run into the tri-oval. One thing you can't really do is be pushing somebody, but you know what? I think the 23 might have got loose right there. That's a sneaky part of the track right. Oh, wow, what a miss there by Shane Ward. And the reason being, in the tri-oval, it's a little bit like Michigan. The banking in the bottom group is a little bit lower, than the middle to the top, right? So once again, I talk about this word all the time. When you get into the tri-oval and you're on two different bankings and the right rear is on the higher end, the car de-wedges, makes it snap around right there, brings it around. So Shiflett finishes it off, and watch the 39 right about now. Zing through there. Let's actually go on board with Shane here. This was attempted fate on this one. That's how he got through it. As now Drift goes to the lead as everybody was all kind of battling very hard there. McKinney, Gilbert, Condon, and AJ Moore. Now your top five. Or AJ Moore, Andrew Moore, I should say. I would say hi to Drift and see how he's doing, but one, he doesn't like microphones, and two, I'm not putting any more bad juju on anybody. Brian Hayes, Stephen Melnick, Scott Wise on pit road now. Of course, Derek Jacobs, Tommy Rogers, Daryl Johnson, Al Likens, Evan Perry, and James Hudson all off the track behind the wall. And what has been a steady attrition rate here. The track temp 104 degrees, ambient there at 78. Talladega living up to the hype once again. And we'll be here a few more times here throughout the other 3 seasons. All right, so here they come off turn 4. I'm sorry, it's turn 2. Never mind, they're still on the back straightaway. I saw the blue cone over there. So let's peek really quickly for those who have just joined us. Take a peek again at the point standings. As Gilbert leads it by 35 over Joe Wells, Shane Ward, Quentin Clark, Greg Thompson, Branch, Moore, Roaldi, Pickle Simmer, and Drift, your top 10. Obviously, this does not show points when it comes to the wins over in the stages and stuff like that. Obviously, Joe Wells got a stage win, so did Scott Wise. So I think it's going to be a pretty close battle for the championship here, depending on where everybody finishes. Gilbert 3rd right now. Joe Wells up to 8th. As the pace car going to pull off. And 5 laps to go this time by. Will it be Drift? Will it be McKinney? Will it be Gilbert again? Will it be somebody new or somebody who's been around? As Drift with a good restart with the 22 behind him, green flag out. And Gilbert's going to take it right to the bottom right away. the 22 as they roar down the back straightaway. AJ Condon following. Here comes Andrew Moore with help from the 11. Trying to fight back on that outside lane as they come the 4 laps to go this time by. Can they get back to the finish? Nope, caution out. Trouble for the 27 car. Brady Karowski and also the 34, Tommy Rogers. And this is going to take the race to overtime likely. Let's see what happens. This is that force back in the field. A lot of cars crisscrossing and contactors shift lit, and there's the 34 and contact there, and there's the Karowski corroborates the wall. That just looked kind of weird. Brady ends up with the worst of that luck as Gilbert leads this race now. Tomorrow night, we'll have another league race for you at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, a debut of Kern County Raceway Park here on the Captain eSports Network. Never been there, haven't purchased a track yet. Probably do that here after the race. But tomorrow night, looking forward to seeing a playoff race at Kevin Harvick's Kern County Raceway Park. So come join us for that league race at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. As mentioned, these guys have an all-star race Tuesday night of next week in the super late model. So come join us as the Masters in the draft. Race super late models around Talladega Superspeedway. Lucky Dog's going to wave around this time by. And I believe that Lucky Dog's Scott Wise, so he'll get back to the lead lap. And we have now what would be 1 lap to go next time by, but we're going to have an overtime finish here. Again, thank you to the viewers who have hung out with us here this evening. You know, the captain always appreciates everyone stopping by, even if you don't even have a reason. You just want to come watch. For some reason, you like me yakking. I don't know. But either way, I appreciate you coming and joining the Captain eSports Network tonight. And again, coming up here in 2 weeks, obviously, you know, we've talked about this for a couple months now. You know, as we start to write that ending chapter of the Captain eSports Network, you know, we're going to be saying goodbye to 2 series next week, and then from there, it'll be this one only to finish it all out before April. As I've said throughout here, and you'll hear me start saying it a lot more, just thank you to all the viewers for the support and stuff. It's been a fun, officially a 4-year run that we did all the way from 2020 to now. But of course, there's been a couple of years before that where I did some stuff on and off, and of course all the racing I did here. And it has definitely been a blast, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. right, so 1 to go this time by. And we'll get the green. It'll be a green-white checker finish. You know, I'm kind of curious if Joe Wells can get up there. He's 9th right now. Does he push the 22 car to the championship? Or does he try to get it himself? Of course, Joe did win the first 2 legs of the championship run. And Gilbert trying to get this tonight. Of course, Travis has a win during this stretch of the 87 cars. All right. And they'll get 2 attempts, by the way, at this. So if they do not get back to the white flag, we'll re-rack them and try another restart. Of course, Gilbert leads the series in most wins this season. Here we go, pace car gonna pull off. Casey Duncan joining us in chat. Hope you're feeling better there, buddy. Cheering on Jason Branch, seeing if Branch can get himself a 2nd straight win here this season. As Gilbert launches. Might even be too good of a restart here. You don't want to get too far out there. He's going to have to protect here, but the 24 not really on the bumper of the 5, so he's not going to be able to get as good of a run here. You wonder if the 5 can get a run as they go single file, front 4 down the back straightaway. Here comes Condon to the bottom. Gilbert can't block 3 lanes. Oh, everybody sliding around. Just need to get to the white flag. Treacherous as Gilbert back to the lead. White flag. How did he squeeze out of that hole? Pick your partners here, and all the 5s in the middle. Here comes Taylor on the bottom. Gilbert trying to just get to the checkered flag to win this championship. He's got a run though. To the start finish line, at the line. Dusty White has won this thing. Sam Taylor gets turned and goes flying through the air as Dusty White wins it. And how about the car? He puts the Captain Esports Network on the car and wins the thing. Oh, great. Now we're going to have like 25 Captain cars out there next week. And Gilbert did cross the line 3rd. And Travis Gilbert will win the 87's championship. You know, that car is a hunk of junk. And Dusty's over here laying burnouts down in the grass. We'll get you a replay of that finish here in just a second. Now, if I thought I read this correctly, is Dusty... Yeah, Dusty's actually filling in for somebody tonight. So congratulations to Dusty, and pretty sure Dylan's going to be happy with the fill-in role there as Dusty toes it back to victory lane. And I don't even think, yeah, Gilbert doesn't even have the, I don't even think the car to be able to lay a burnout down here probably. So, but he's going to celebrate a championship when it's all said and done here. And let's go back to this finish, as the 9 car goes flying through the air. As they go down the back straightaway here. Pickle Simmer going to be stuck in Michigan now the rest of his career. As Dusty White takes the winner, he's pushing the 22 out there. Gilbert makes the run up there, makes the contact with the 9. And then the 24 gives him a bump and turns the 22. And there's Dusty going to victory lane. One more look at it here. They race into the trial. There's the door bang. And then right there, Gilbert just kind of gets helped out by the 24. And there goes the 9 over. Oh, and Joe Wells goes over. Almost on to his top. As wildness ensues here at Talladega Superspeedway as we complete the 87 round of the Vet to Track Masters of the Draft. Is Travis Gilbert is officially the champion here, as he will finish third. As we take a look at the finishing results, as Dusty White goes to victory lane in the 11 car. Sam Taylor second, Travis Gilbert third, Josh McKinney fourth, and AJ Condon fifth. Joe Wells gets sixth, Andrew Moore seventh, Shane Ward eighth, Quentin Clark and Jason Branch ends up with a top 10 finish. Ryan Wilson 11th, Drift in 12th, Brian Hayes 13th, Greg Thompson 14th, and Stephen Melnick ends up with a 15th place finish. Scott Wise, Tim Shiflett, Brady Korowski, Tommy Rogers, Derek Jacobs, your top 20. Daryl Johnson, Al Likens, James Hudson, Evan Perry, and that'll complete the 24 cars that started this race. And we're going to skip the third place driver for a second here. And let's talk to the guy that finished in the second position. And that being Sam Taylor. Sam obviously so close to going to victory lane, but unfortunately a little bit short there, and would end up being a tight battle. And you didn't even get all four wheels across the line, as they were in midair as you crossed the line. So kind of a spectacular second place finish.
Yeah, it was wild to say the least. Didn't expect to be upside down, but I crossed the line this time, and it's been a tough season, so I'm just glad to finish.
Yeah, talk about those last couple laps. Obviously, a little bit in your control, a little bit out of your control there, and you had a lot of help, though. Going down that back straightaway, you had some help behind you, pushing you to the front, and then it was pretty much you and the 22 mano-a-mano. Talk about what you had to do to try to hold on to the win there.
Yeah, I mean, right there, that last caution before that, I came down, put fresh tires on it because I was already back in 10th. So I was like, why not? I can get to the front pretty easy. And then Travis, he's good at what he does. This is some of his best racing, and I just kind of let it all hang, and whatever happened, happened. And I got out there and thought I had it, and got a little too far ahead of myself.
Obviously, a fantastic effort on your end, and the great news is, yes, you do have the overall championship, but the good news is you get to start another leg of 4 races coming up here, starting in January. So, I guess there's a couple positives you can take out of that.
Yeah, there is.
Well, great job, and send some shout outs to everybody too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just everybody who runs the league, Joe, Scott, Lauren, all them guys, you for doing the broadcast. They're always great. Try to watch them the next day, and just teammates and everything. They're been a hard season for all of us. We've all got frustrated, but tonight showed we can come out on top once or twice.
Boy, it worked out, man. Great job tonight. Keep your head up and keep fighting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Sam Taylor, second place finisher here tonight. Congratulations to him on a great run here and a great finish to the campaign. And of course, he'll have a chance in January when the Xfinity car comes to run for the championship in that 4-race leg. All right, let's go to victory lane and talk to the winner of the race before we talk to our champion of the Truck Series. And that being Dusty White here. Congratulations, man, on winning this race, filling in for Dylan, and just the seas parted perfectly for you tonight and going to victory lane.
Yep, I was pretty lucky, I guess.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, or you sometimes can cover the both. But nothing wrong with that, man. You just put yourself in the right place at the right time. Just talking about that last lap, because I mean, you were doing a lot of pushing there, and all of a sudden the seas parted and it opened up for you.
Yeah, I seen Sam had went down in front of me, and I was just trying to help out the team, so I was going to try to push him to the win, but I seen whenever he moved up there was a hole, and I took it, and I guess the 24 got into it with the 9 and allowed me to scoot by and get the win.
Well, obviously a great effort tonight, and talk about the emotions right now. How you feeling about getting this win here tonight? I know it's kind of a sub roll, and I know Dylan's happy for you, but how's it feel to put this 11 car into victory lane?
I mean, it's pretty awesome. I've been trying all season long to try to get a win or to even get top finishes, but never was able to do anything really worth talking about. But tonight, I guess everything worked out for me, even though I had to start from the pits.
Yeah, great point there. Start from the pits, and a big wreck breaks out in front of you. So all worked out for you when it's all over with. Send some shout-outs to everybody like to.
Say that one more time, sorry?
Just send some shout-outs to everybody like to.
Oh, of course, Al and Dylan and Daryl and Sam and James, my teammates. And of course, my lady friend Jamie, she supports me a lot, so. And of course you as well, Chris, for putting on the broadcast, and of course, I thanked you with the scheme for you tonight.
I guess that's gonna be staying on your car now, huh?
Yep. may never change it again.
Attaboy. Well, hey, I appreciate it very much, man. Great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, you too. Dusty White, the winner here tonight, and I guess I'm sponsoring Dusty now. What do you know? He literally popped up like, at least I got the message like an hour before the race. He's like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you. You showed me the car." I'm like, "Ah, cool." Always cool to see people do that. As now that we're going to bring a third place finisher down, but not only that, he's the champion for this leg of the 87's, of course, of the Masters of the Draft. As Travis, congratulations, as you've won this part of the championship, and one that I know you've been wanting to get one of these legs at least, and you get the first one here that's not Joe's. So good job on that one.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Chris. Yeah, GLM 3 for 3 in the Black Championships, and happens to be I pull out an 87's championship, and I was born in the year 1987. So that's kind of ironic, pretty cool. I don't think everybody can say that, So this GLM team's pretty badass, man. And excuse my language, I don't mean to get anybody in trouble, but this team I'm pretty damn proud of it. You know, we went 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th there, and Shane Ward in 8th. So that's 5 cars in the top 10, and we had a chance to win there. So really, 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 really proud of this team.
And normally we talk to the winner, obviously, in victory lane, but you know, since it's a championship race and stuff, we're talking to you right now, of course, at the track victory lane, and to get the sponsor the championship here in this 87 car, that's got to be pretty cool for you.
Yeah, the Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series, it's one of the, you know, we lose our regular season racing for the majority of us that don't just focus on super speedway racing. So going through the winter months when it gets dark and stuff, the super speedway racing, you know, keeps everybody showing up and gives us a little bit of taste of racing. So yeah, you know, pretty fun. I appreciate it. The effort that everybody puts in the league to try to put on a good show. Captain eSports Network, Chris, appreciate you. Lauren and Scott Wise, you know, with Lauren being the race control and having to keep all of us boneheads in line and everything. So, and even having to keep you on track doing your job at times. She's a multitasker, and we really appreciate her. So, everybody that does the admin team reviews, you know, it gives everybody a chance to appeal their penalties and stuff. There's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes. So, really appreciate everybody that pitches in for the Bet to Track Masters of the Draft Series. You know, the veterans out there, they're battling PTSD on a daily basis from one moment to the next. On the back of my car, it says battling PTSD one lap at a time, because that's what we're doing in this series. We're battling PTSD. There's a lot of veterans in this series, so a lot of military service that's going and being tribute. You play the American flag or the national anthem and have the American flag draped over the broadcast, so that goes a long ways. You know, everything builds up to putting on a show and being there to support people. So really appreciate everybody that goes and puts effort into this series, man.
Well, obviously it's great to see a good sponsor like that out here supporting the racers and doing a great job each and every night. But man, obviously a great job to you for winning the championship. And I know it's been kind of you and Joe running away with it a little bit there overall, but of course, you get this little break now before you come back to the more modern cars with the Xfinity car, and I think it's going to definitely get, I want to say, a lot tougher, because obviously now I think it brings everybody into the pack together, and it could get interesting.
I don't know. Like, if we really break it down, we didn't get our teammate into victory lane, one of them, whether it be Josh, AJ, or Shane, to get into the All-Star race with a win there. However, you look, you see 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th on the board. That's 5 in the top 10. And these cars, you're not even really able to draft with each other. You can kind of help a little bit. However, they're more talent. You have to put yourself in the right position and stuff, the way these drive with the air and stuff. I about wrecked myself there when the 9 was battling with the lap on my corner entry. Just, I don't know if it sucked all the air off and I pitched down. It took every bit of skill I had not to wreck it and keep it on the apron, and everybody did a great job not to hit me, so really appreciate them. So I don't know, man. I really think the GLM team is just really gelling. We do a good job. We try to coordinate. Sometimes there's frustrations when you're, you know, running a big team and trying to coordinate and stuff. So I really think, though, that we're going to work really well moving forth, and you're going to continue to see the same thing from our GLM team.
Well, great job tonight, and send some shout-outs who we like to.
Oh, man, I got to thank everybody that watches me and supports me before I go anywhere else. Terry Tweet, my mom, she's a huge supporter. Appreciate everything, you know, she sacrificed for her family and for me. I never really got a chance in real life, however, having fun doing this and getting to prove that we have some bit of talent, so appreciate her, love her. I don't get to say that enough, and, you know, I really do appreciate her for everything she's done for me in this lifetime. So without her, I wouldn't have the skill sets that I have, so much appreciated, Mom. Love you. And, you know, there's my team, Joe Wells with the paint schemes, always really badass fast, man. We're 2/10 on the track every week, you know. And then you got Shane Ward. He finished 3rd in the block. Hopefully, you know, he's an up-and-coming star that's going to be winning here soon. Wouldn't be surprised to see him win, you know, the All-Star Open, and then, you know, shoot in for the All-Star Grand Slam race. So then you got our newcomers that are coming up with Brady. You got AJ Condon. He's another strong one. So we're working on it, man. We're getting there. So I appreciate everybody that does everything. And then, of course, Vet to Track, Jim Whittam, everything that they put into trying to help veterans stay away from being 22 a day, man. So if you guys can go visit vettotrack.org and go give them a like, a shout out, buy some merch, and that dude's out there rocking it on his own, trying to save people's lives. So any little bit of support goes as far as it can go. So every $500 gets a veteran, maybe from being in a casket to out on the racetrack and being able to save other lives. So the more we donate, the more we save these veterans' lives, the bigger impact we can make for their families and the future of our country.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations. Go celebrate with the team.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Chris. Have a good night, man.
Yes, sir. You too. And that is the Vet to Track driver, Travis Gilbert, the champion of the 87's of the Masters of the Draft leg. It's his first one of the season. So Joe Wells with 2, and then of course Travis now with the 1. And of course that interview from the Vet to Track victory lane. So congratulations again to the G Lightning team, and of course to Travis Gilbert on winning that, as Dusty White goes to victory lane here tonight. Also in the race, our biggest mover tonight, well, he's not eligible for it because he didn't qualify. It would have been Dusty White because he started dead last, but he started the race on pit road, and per the rules you actually have to qualify to be eligible for this award. So it looks like Josh McKinney, the 4th place finisher here tonight, going to be the winner of the Hard Charger Award, which of course is presented by Superior Templating. So big shout out to Roger Rios Matias, and a shout out to Josh McKinney for winning the Hard Charger Award, as he started 23rd and finished 4th here tonight. So congratulations on him winning that award. All right, with that said, we'll be back next Tuesday night for an all-star race from Talladega in the super late model car, and we'll get all the information for that and get ready for what will be a fun night next Tuesday night. And we'll be back tomorrow night with another league race from Kern County Raceway Park. That should be a fun one on that half-mile short track. And looking forward to seeing what those cars can do, Xfinity cars on Kern County. So it should be a good race there. Looking forward to it. So congratulations to Dusty White on going to victory lane here. And a big shout out to all the sponsors from Vivid EV, sponsoring the Pole Award. Of course, Wise Guy iRacing Graphics, they sponsored the stage winner. Superior Templating and the Hard Charger Award. And Vet to Track, the victory lane and main sponsor, of course, the Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series from the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing, as we are done from Talladega. Again, next Tuesday night, 8:30, I believe, will be the All-Star Race from Talladega here at a super late model car. So thanks to Scott and Lauren Wise for allowing me to broadcast as always. And a big shout out to all the sponsors and friends and viewers and drivers and so on and so forth. It's been a lot of fun, and looking forward to the next 12. Should be a good run here starting in the Xfinity car here in a couple weeks. Remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
following is a special presentation.
From the Captain eSports Network.